When did you decide that being reasonable was the goal? Seriously, I want you to think about it. When did the word realistic become the highest compliment you can give an idea? You're smart, you're successful, you've gotten to where you are because you make good, logical, defensible decisions. People in your life probably look up to you for it. They call you grounded, the one who has it all together. And that grounded feeling that you have within you, that celebrated reasonableness, is the most expensive thing you could own. It's costing you more than your mortgage, more than your last launch that didn't quite fly, more than any bad investment you've ever made, because your commitment to being realistic is the very thing holding your wealth exactly where it is. This is what I call the reasonableness trap. And if you're making multiple six figures, you're an expert at setting it and walking right into it every single day. The trap is simple. It's when your highly intelligent brain uses old evidence. So all your past wins, all your past losses, all your past experiences to build a forecast for the future. And then you treat that forecast as not as a possibility, but as a fact, as the only possibility. Any dream, any goal, any price point that doesn't fit neatly into the data from your past gets flagged as unrealistic. And because you're a smart, reasonable woman, you kill the idea before it has a chance to breathe. You stop yourself. You scale it back. You charge a little less. You aim a little lower. You make it make sense. And you succeed on that smaller, more realistic level. And in doing so, you gather more evidence that your smaller, edited down version of reality is, in fact, reality. It's a perfect, self-contained loop, and it is keeping you stuck. So let's be extremely clear about what's happening here. This isn't a mindset problem. You don't need more affirmations. You don't need to write, "I'm a millionaire" on your mirror another 100 times, okay? You've done that. You already believe on some level that more is possible for you. That's why you're even here. The issue is that your internal operating system, the part of you that's designed to keep you safe and alive, has learned that your current level of success is a known, safe territory. It's familiar. You know how to handle the problems at 8K a month or 15K a month. You know the kind of clients you attract, the kind of stress you deal with, the level of visibility that you have. It's a known quantity. A 50K month? 100K month? A life where money is genuinely not a consideration in your daily decisions? That is unknown territory. Your nervous system has no data for that. It has no file for what it feels like to navigate that reality. And so its primary job becomes protecting you from that unknown. How does it protect you? Not by sending you into a panic attack. It's much, much smarter than that. It uses your greatest asset against you, your own intelligence. It puts on a very convincing costume and speaks to you in your own voice. The voice of reason, the voice of pragmatist, the voice of smart businesswoman who doesn't get carried away. It sounds like this, okay? Okay, a $100,000 launch for this new offer sounds amazing, but let's be realistic. We haven't built the audience for that yet. Let's aim for 30K. That's a solid achievable goal, and we can build from there. It sounds like, I'd love to hire a full-time assistant, but it's not really a responsible financial decision right now. I can still handle most of it myself. I'll just work a few extra hours. It's just the logical thing to do until I have more consistent cash flow. It sounds like, I know I could charge $5,000 for this, and a few people might pay it. But if I charge $2,500, I'll get way more yeses. It's just better business sense to go for volume. It's the safer bet. That voice isn't you. That is your survival mechanism disguised as a business. Its only goal is to keep you in the familiar zone. And it will use the language of logic and reason to do it. Because it knows it's the only language you'll listen to. It knows you dismiss a very fearful, whiny voice. But a calm, rational, logical voice, you trust that voice. You've built your entire career on listening to that voice. And that is the trap. I see this all the time. Let's imagine a woman, Sarah. She runs a successful consulting business, clearing 20K months pretty consistently. She's good at what she does. She has an idea for a new high-level mastermind. The vision's huge. It's expansive. She maps it all out. The retreat, the guest experts, the level of transformation. In her gut, she knows that this is a $25,000 per seat program. The vision for it feels electrifying. For a few days, she lives in that energy. She's excited, she's terrified, she feels alive. And then she sits down to create the sales page. And the voice of reason pulls up a chair. It says, $25,000? Sarah, be serious. Your highest ticket offer right now is $10K. You can't just jump from a 10 to a $25K. That's arrogant. Who do you think you are? People will laugh. Let's start at $15K. That's a stretch, but it's a defensible stretch. It's logical. So, Sarah listens. Because it sounds reasonable. She changes the price to $15K, but now the deliverables feel a little off. The $25K vision included a luxurious, all-inclusive retreat, but that voice of reason chimes in again. At a $15K price point, you can't justify that kind of expense. That's not profitable. And they can just cover the hotel. And they can handle their own flights and food. That's standard. It's smart. So she chips away at the vision, bit by bit. The guest expert she was dreaming of, too expensive now. The level of gifting and client experience has been scaled back to protect the margin. And by the time she launches, the program is in the shadow of its own original electrical vision. It's a good program. It's a solid program, but it's a reasonable program. And she launches it. And a few people sign up, and she makes maybe $60K. She tells herself, see, it's a good thing I didn't price it at $25K. I only got 4 people at $15K. I would have gotten 0 at the higher price. I made a smart, logical decision. Thank you, voice. Do you see that loop? She proved her own watered-down promise correct. She never gave the big vision a chance to succeed or fail on its own terms. She killed it, quietly, in a Google Doc, all under the guise of being a grounded CEO. She didn't fail. She just chose not to play in the arena she was truly meant for. And she did it so logically. That's the thing. She probably got a little dopamine hit from feeling so strategic. This is the high cost of being reasonable. So how do we start to dismantle this? It starts with seeing a pattern for what it is. It requires a few shifts in the beliefs that are going to feel deeply uncomfortable to your logical mind. So number 1, realistic, that word realistic, is just the cage your past built for your future. Your reality is based on evidence you've already collected. Every time you say, let's be realistic, what you're actually saying is, let me consult the archives of my past experiences and limit my future actions to only what has been proven possible before. Wealth that you haven't experienced yet, by definition, has no precedent in your archives. Therefore, any move toward it will always feel unrealistic. You have to be willing to operate outside of your own evidence base. You have to be willing to create a result that your brain currently labels as delusional. Secondly, your logic is a luxury you can no longer afford. Up to this point, your intellect and your analytical skills have been your superpowers. They got you to 8K, 10K, 20K months. Congratulations! But the skills that get you here will not get you there. At this level of the game, continuing to let your logical mind run the show is an act of self-sabotage. Your big vision doesn't live in a spreadsheet. It doesn't live in a pros and cons list. Your next level of wealth is not going to be a logical next step. It's going to feel like a leap. And your logical mind is terrified of leaps. You have to start treating its rational arguments not as gospel, but the fearful chatter of a part of you that's just trying to keep things predictable. Acknowledge it, and then dismiss it. Thirdly, second guessing isn't you just being smart. It's your nervous system trying to protect you from a level of success it has never had to manage before. When you start editing your big idea, what's really happening is that your body is having a low-grade stress response to the unknown. A bigger business means more visibility, more responsibility, more money to manage, more complex problems. Your nervous system, in an attempt to regulate itself, sends a signal to your brain. This is scary. Make it smaller. Make it safer. And your brain, the loyal servant, translates that biological signal into a very compelling, logical sounding thought like, maybe we should do more market research before we commit to this. It's not a strategic thought. It's a safety-seeking thought in disguise. It's a biological impulse, not a business insight. Right about now, the smartest person in any room, you, is thinking, okay, I hear you, but there is a line. I can't just be delusional. Running a business requires strategic planning and risk management. I can't just throw caution to the wind and price things at $1 million. That's not business. That's fantasy. And you're right. I'm not telling you to be reckless. This is the biggest objection, the one your logical mind clings to for dear life. There is a massive difference between responsible strategic planning and strangling your vision because it feels uncomfortable. Responsible planning is about the how. It's logistics. It's asking, okay, this is the $100,000 vision. What assets do I need? What team do I need to hire? What's the marketing plan to get this in front of the right people? What's the delivery system? It's about building the bridge to the big, scary, unreasonable vision. The reasonableness trap, on the other hand, is about the what. It's not about logistics. It's about permission. It doesn't ask, how can we make this happen? It declares, we can't make this happen. So let's make this something smaller and less scary. You see the difference? One is expansive. It takes the big vision as a non-negotiable and starts solving for it. The other is contractive. It takes your current reality as a non-negotiable and shrinks the vision to fit inside of it. You are so used to contracting your vision to fit your circumstances. You've forgotten that you have the power to change your circumstances to fit your vision. That is the work. It's really the only work. Stop negotiating with your vision. Start executing it. The how will reveal itself, but only after you fully commit to the what in all of its unreasonable, illogical, terrifying glory. The truth is, your brain has been trained to see the risk in taking a big leap. It can calculate the potential downside in a nanosecond. What it's not designed to see is the far greater, far more insidious risk of staying put. The risk of playing small, the risk of letting another year go by where you hit the same ceiling. The risk of proving to yourself over and over again that realistic is all you're capable of. The risk of dying with your biggest, most expansive vision still locked inside of you. All because it never got passed on a logical cost-benefit analysis. That's the real danger here. Building wealth beyond what you've ever known requires you to stop outsourcing your decision making to the part of your brain that only has access to old data. It requires you to make a choice from your future self, not your past self. This is not a comfortable process. It will feel irresponsible. It will feel scary. It will feel to your very logical mind completely and utterly unreasonable. Good. That's how you know you're doing it right. Your comfort zone is your income cap. So here's your work. For the next 24 hours, your only job is to let your vision be completely unreasonable. Take one goal, one offer, one dream that you've been editing and shrinking and making more palatable, and write down the most audacious, terrifying, illogical version of it. The version that makes your stomach flip. Price it at the number that makes you want to laugh or throw up. I don't care. Map out the vision that feels so big you don't even know how to start. Don't you dare ask how. Do not allow a single realistic thought to edit a single word. Just capture the reasonable vision. That's the first step. Go.